speaking because he's coming late. That's what I heard.
Okay.
But if something changes, I'll let you know. Sunday, not he's coming after the Sunday feast class. So
No.
because he's coming late. But Monday and Tuesday he's going to speak.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Monday at the OSU program, and Tuesday we are trying to find the place where he will do his home program in Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you're most welcome. Let us know if you're coming. We can see, we can make arrangements.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So what are the last verses of Nectar of Instruction? What are they talking about? 9, 10, and 11. They're talking about what was
Love of Krishna.
yeah. What was the 7th verse talking about? 7th verse of Nectar of Instruction, which was
attachment for Krishna.
yeah, but in the stages of bhakti.
Some the Sanskrit word I forgot, but it's
Bhajan
Bhajana Kriya, Prabhuji, Bhajana Kriya.
Anarth Nivritti, Nishtha, and Ruchi.
Yeah, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti,
Oh.
Nishtha, and Ruchi. And then the verse after that was, what was the verse after the 7th verse? The 8th verse.
Asakti.
That was talking about once you develop taste, like Ruchi is taste. And once you develop taste, then you become attached. And so you will feel like, very, you want to do it all the time. And then after that comes Bhav, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhav, and Prem. So these two verses are talking about the Bhav and Prem. And we had the document. I'm trying to find the document which has all this. Somebody want to share that? Somebody has that document? There you go. So I shared a document before. So in that it talks about Bhav and Prem. Okay, so this verse will look verse number 9. So this is describing, verse 9 is describing the hierarchy of spiritual places. Verse number 10 is describing the hierarchy of the worshippers, different hierarchies of worshippers. And verse number 11 combines both. The hierarchy of spiritual places, hierarchy of the spiritual worshippers, that is in verse number 11. So this is describing what is the hierarchy. Now, when we say hierarchy, here it is saying, so we'll just go to the verse. Vaikunthaj Janito Vara Madhupuri. So Vaikuntha, Vara means better. Better than Vaikuntha is Madhupuri. Madhupuri is Mathura. Why? Because Janito, Krishna took birth in Mathura. That's why Madhupuri. Mathura is better than Vaikuntha. In Vaikuntha, Vishnu is there. Vishnu doesn't take really a birth like that. And then we'll see there are different rasas. This is a hierarchy in terms of rasas. So Vaikuntha Janito Vara Madhupuri. Vara means the best, better. Vara Madhupuri. Like we have Giri Var, the best of the mountains. So better than Vaikuntha is Mathura, because Krishna took birth there. Tatrapi Rasot Savad Vrindaranyam. So Tatrapi means superior to that is Vrindaranyam, the forest of Vrindavan. Why? Because that is where Krishna performed his Ras Leela. He performed his various pastimes. So that's considered higher than Mathura. Udara Pani. Udar means one who is very magnanimous, and Pani means the hands, one who is very, very charitable. This name of Krishna. Udara Pani Ramana Tatrapi Govardhana. So Tatrapi, again that same word Tatrapi is coming. Higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan. Why? Because on Govardhan also Krishna performed all his leelas, and Govardhan was in touch with Krishna for 7 days, and all the rasas were exchanged under Govardhan. The whole Vrindavan village came under Govardhan when Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, and he was reciprocating with the friends in Sakhyaras, he was reciprocating with the gopis in Madhurya Ras, he was reciprocating with the elderly gopis who had Vatsalya Ras. So everything was there under Govardhan. So it's considered even superior to the forest of Vrindavan. And Radha Kundam Ihapi Gokulapate Premamrita Aplavanat. So superior than Govardhan is Radha Kund. Radha Kund is the molten form of Radharani's love in the form of that water of Radha Kund. That is where at Radha Kund also many, many pastimes happened. And Srimati, it is the Kund of Radharani, where Radharani and Krishna did many pastimes. And it is said that, as we will see in the last verse, which tells about the glories of Radha Kund, that how by bathing oneself, by taking shelter of Radha Kund, that is the best thing to do in the entire universe, to take shelter of Radha Kund, because that is where Radharani, it's Radharani's lake or pond, you can say. So that's where the highest love of Radharani is there. So Radha Kundam Ihapi Gokulapate Premamrita Plavanat. So it was overflooded. Radha Kund is overflooded. Kuryad Yasya Virajato Giri Tate Sevam Viveki Na Kaha. So it says Viveki. Viveki means one who is very intelligent, who can discriminate. So who is that intelligent person who will not take shelter of this divine Radha Kund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill, Giri Tate, Sevam Viveki Nakaha. So now there are different places described that higher than Vaikuntha is Mathura, higher than Mathura is Vrindavan, higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan, higher than Govardhan is Radha Kund, like that. So this is describing. But those who are in Vaikuntha, they are satisfied. They are satisfied worshipping Krishna. In Vaikuntha, there are two rasas that are prominent. What are those two rasas that you see in Vaikuntha? Out of the 5 rasas, which are most prominent in Vaikuntha?
Dasya rasa,
Dasya rasa.
Dasya ras and
Shanta rasa.
Shanta ras. Shanta and Dasya ras is most prominent Vaikuntha. They all worship Lord Vishnu in great awe and reverence, right? They are all, when Gop Kumar in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, he went to Vaikuntha, he saw Vishnu, but he wanted more than Gop Kumar has a friendship relationship with Krishna. So he wanted to relate to Vishnu as a friend. And the residents, I think, they said, no, this is not possible here in this, because this is Vaikuntha. He is our master. They have that mood that that Vishnu is our master and we cannot embrace him, or we cannot So he had to come down to the earth, and then he got a mantra, and then he went to Golok Vrindavan after that, because his original form. But it doesn't mean that those who are in Vaikuntha, they are less. They are also perfect people, but they want to worship the Lord in a certain rasa. And although we say Sakhya ras is higher than Dasya, then Vatsalya is higher than Sakhya, and Madhurya is the highest. But those who are in certain rasa, they are very, very satisfied in that rasa, in relationship with Krishna. So they don't want to change. Like there is a story, one time in Dwarka, Krishna told Garuda, and he told Garuda, you go and call Hanuman. So Garuda went to Hanuman and said, Lord Krishna is calling you to Dwarka. And Hanuman was chanting Ram Nam. He's always chanting Ram, 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 Ram. So he did not say, pay attention. Garuda came from Dwarka, but he did not give any attention to Garuda. Garuda said, I have come from Dwarka. He said, 2, 3 times he told Hanuman, I have come from Dwarka. Lord Krishna has sent me and he's calling you. Please come. Hanuman did not listen. And then what happened? When Garuda was saying, constantly saying, Lord Krishna is calling you, Hanumanji with his tail, he gave a little kick with his tail to Garuda, and Garuda was thrown into the air and he fell right into Dwarka from where he had come in front of Krishna. So Garuda became very sad, that Hanuman would not listen. But Krishna knows what happened. So he asked, you should not have said that Krishna is calling him. Now this time you go again and tell that who is calling? Who do you think he would have said next time?
Lord Ram.
Lord Ram is calling. You're following the story, everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so he says, go and tell him that Lord Ram is calling. So then immediately Hanuman says, oh, Lord Ram is calling, my master is calling. I will go immediately. And Garuda said, okay, please sit on my shoulders, I will take you. And Hanumanji said, Garuda, you go ahead. I will come myself. You go ahead. So before Garuda went to Dwarka, Hanuman was already there. And Garuda saw there that Krishna had assumed the form of Ram, Lord Ramchandra. And Garuda saw Hanumanji was there sitting with folded hands. So Hanumanji doesn't want to change his rasa. Although he is in Dasya ras and we say Sakhya ras is higher, he's very satisfied in Dasya ras. And so there are different sampradayas, right? We have Lakshmi Sampradaya, Shri Sampradaya, in which the worship of Lord Narayan is very prominent. And they worship in the mood of awe and reverence. In our Gaudiya Sampradaya, we have Madhurya Ras and Sakhya Ras and all these things are mentioned. But those who are in that Sampradaya, they are also perfect. They are also worshipping the Lord in a certain way, and they are perfect. They are feeling happy. They are feeling satisfied. When Lord Chaitanya was visiting South India, he came to the house of a Brahmana, and this Brahmana was fasting, and he was very upset. It is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Maybe we can find it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked him, what is the reason for him being so upset? He said, I'm very upset because I am a devotee of Lord Ram, Sita Ram. And when I read this passage from Ramayana, that Ravana came and he kidnapped Sita, my heart could not take it. I cannot take this. That how come Ravana, who was so lusty and so impure in heart, he could touch Lord Ram's consort, Sita. So I cannot accept this, and I am feeling very, very sad about this. Then Lord Chaitanya didn't say anything at that time. Then he continued on his journey on South India. Then somewhere he found the Kurma Puran. He found Kurma Puran. And then in Kurma Puran it is mentioned that when Ravana came to kidnap Sita, he did not actually kidnap the original Sita, but he kidnapped the Maya Sita. Maya Sita means there was an illusory form of Sita that Agni Dev put in that situation. And then that's what Ravana took. And then when the Brahmana heard that, he was very satisfied. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also very happy. He did not try to convert him into being, he didn't say, oh, Krishna worship is higher than Ram worship, so you should worship Krishna. No, he was satisfied worshipping Lord Ram. Even with Murari Gupta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told him, Krishna's pastimes are more sweet. You should worship Krishna. But Murari Gupta, being Hanuman, He was attached to Lord, worshipping Lord Ram. And next day, when he told him one day that Murari Gupta, now tomorrow you should worship Krishna. And Murari Gupta was thinking about it whole night, but he could not get his mind off of Lord Ram. And then morning he came and said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is impossible for me to switch like this because Lord Ram is my Ishtadev. So he's Hanuman, of course, Murari Gupta in Chaitanya Leela. So every devotee will have attraction to a particular form of the Lord, and they are satisfied in worshipping that. So in Vaikuntha, they are all perfect. All Vaikuntha is not like they have some imperfection, otherwise, they won't be in Vaikuntha. They are in Vaikuntha, they are all perfect, and they are satisfied in their rasa with Krishna in a particular. Like the friends of Krishna, they like to play with Krishna, they like to treat Krishna as a friend, which is different from Yashoda's rasa. So there is different rasas in different places, and every devotee is satisfied. So although we say this is superior to this, but it is all perfect. Yeah, so yes, and so we can read a few verses later on. Yes, about when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meets this Ramdas Vipra. I think his name is Ramdas Vipra, and so yes. Okay, so the holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan, because of Krishna's Ras Lila pastimes. Because now we are getting into more intimate. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna, and it was the site of his various loving pastimes. So on Govardhan Hill, Krishna and Balram and all the cowherd boys, they used to go every day. They used to play on Govardhan Hill, and gopis would also come and they would have their Ras Leela and so many things. There are caves on Govardhan Hill, which Raghunath Das Goswami says, right? I want, Govardhan is witnessing all the pastimes of Krishna, his Sakhya pastimes, his Madhurya pastimes. So Raghunath Das Goswami says, I want a residence at the foot of Govardhan, like that. So Govardhan is considered as the best devotee, right? In the Radharani speaks a verse in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Hantaya Madri Rabala Haridasa Varyo. Haridasa Varyo. This verse is spoken by Radharani in the Venu Geet, in the 10th canto, 21st chapter, the Venu Geet. Radharani is speaking this verse that, oh, how great is this Govardhan Hill. It is the best of all devotees. Of course, Govardhan Hill is Krishna also himself, but he's also serving in the mood of servant. So Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Sri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radha Kund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with ambrosial nectarian prem of Lord of Gokul, Sri Krishna. So at the foot of Govardhan Hill, Govardhan is in the form of a peacock. It is described. And the two eyes of the peacock are the Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. So Govardhan, many times we, like the parikrama, on the parikrama mark, we come to Radha Kund when we do Govardhan parikrama. And because it is the kund of the greatest devotee of Krishna, Radharani, so it is the super excellent of everything. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radha Kund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? So any comments so far? Anything from?
Dasyaras is common to all the rasas. When it has to serve the Lord, the main thing is service. In whatever form we relish our rasa relationship with the Lord, but service to the Lord is common.
Yes. In all the it's all servant of the Lord, and you serve the Lord in all. So we say in Sakhya Ras, Dasya is also included. In what is that? In Sakhya, then Vatsalya. Sakhya and Dasya are included, and Madhurya, all the rasas are included. So like that it is described.
Why this particular verse is for attachment, and why the description is given like this way?
This is to establish the superiority of, Radharani and Radha Kund over everything else. So ultimately it is telling us that Radharani's love is the highest, Radha Kund. So I think that's how Rupa Goswami is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, like I had one question, Prabhuji, like in regarding to Vaikuntha, you said that in Vaikuntha, like devotees will serve in two rasas. One is Dasya rasa and Shanta rasa. Dasya rasas, like we can consider as Hanuman in Dasya rasa. But like, what's the like example for Shanta rasa, Prabhuji?
Shanta Rasa, even in Vrindavan, they say the devotees serve in Shanta Rasa. Shanta Rasa is like the mood of awe and reverence. So you're thinking, Lord is so great, and you're very just happy seeing the magnificent powers of the Lord and His beauty. Dasya means now there is more active service to the Lord. Shanta is just appreciating. So you can say the trees in Vrindavan, they are considered sometimes in Shanta Rasa, like that. So they are appreciating and they want to serve Krishna also, but they are mostly described as in Shantaras. So you can say Shantaras is like that. Dasya is more like, okay, after you appreciate, then you want to do something, right, to serve. So that's why it's called Dasya, servitude. And then, then it becomes more intimate. Then you treat the Lord as your friend. So these are spontaneous, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya, where you forget. Shanta and Dasya, you are remembering the Lord's position as the. So in Shantaras, there is awe and reverence. That's how it's described. We'll come into Nectar of Devotion and they'll give examples of devotees in Shantaras, in Dasyaras, in Madhuryaras, like that, Vatsalyaras. So, so it is just appreciating the Lord. The Lord's. So there are devotees like that who are in that. Like sometimes it is said Prahlad Maharaj is in Shantaras. But yeah. Okay. So I'll leave it at there for now. Then we'll look at more details of this Shantaras later on. The spiritual world, anything else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I think in TLC I was reading that service starts at Dasyaras. So
Yeah.
in Shanta there is no service, is what I understood.
So there is more like appreciation for the Lord. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
servitude, yes, correct. But yeah, the appreciation of the Lord, you may say something good about. That is also, in one sense, we say glorifying the Lord and appreciating the Lord is Shanta. So let's see what Prabhupada says in Shantaras neutrality.
In Bhagavad Gita also, like in the introduction, Prabhupada has mentioned that devotees are in like 5 states: active, passive. So passive state comes under Shantarasana, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Okay.
But they are also pure devotees because they don't have material desires. The sense of intimacy, Prabhupada says, although there is attachment for Krishna in awe and veneration in the Shantaras, along with these two valuable transcendental qualities, the attachment for Krishna and detachment from material desires. So they have, nonetheless, the sense of intimacy is lacking. By that intimacy, one thinks of Krishna as one's only shelter and only friend. So in the Shantaras, one accepts Krishna as the impersonal form or localized Paramatma. So that also, example of Shanta Bhaktas or devotees are the Navayogendras, the four Kumaras are also examples of this stage. Okay, so now we'll read the
I have a question.
yeah. Go ahead.
That Hantaya Madriyavala verse, how do we understand that it was spoken by Radharani, which is mentioned in somewhere?
Yeah, that is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and other acharyas they have given the commentary on this
Okay.
verse when that it is mentioned. Yeah. So that is 10:21:18. This is the verse. Hantaya madrira bala haridas varyo yad Rama Krishna charana sparasha pramodaha manam tanoti sahago ganayostayoryat pani yasuya vasa kandara kandamule. In the purport, it is not mentioned, but it is other commentaries. If you read, then it is mentioned that this verse, Radharani is speaking this verse about glorifying Govardhan Hill. Govardhan Hill is so best of all the devotees because it has, there are many different commentaries of acharyas. Gopis are saying, see, Govardhan, he's standing alone in the forest and he's so fortunate. We are with our families, we are attached to our families. We cannot go. We are not so strong like Govardhan. Govardhan separated, right, from his, the story of Pulatsya Muni carrying Govardhan Hill, and he was separated from his father, and he came in the Vraj. So, in a way, Radharani is saying, see how glorious is this Govardhan Hill. We are not so, it is standing there alone, and for Krishna, and Krishna is going daily. We are not that fortunate like that. So, of all the devotees, this Govardhan Hill is the best. Oh, my friends, this hill supplies Krishna and Balram. Although Radharani is the topmost devotee, the characteristic of a pure devotee is that they think others are like more advanced than them. And so they give all respects to other devotees. So Radharani will say, how fortunate are this after the Ras Leela when Krishna left, then they were looking for Krishna and they'll meet so many different. They're asking everybody, where is Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? Have you seen Krishna? And she's appreciating, oh, how this is so fortunate, how Tulsi is so fortunate. She's always on the feet of Krishna. So this is one of the symptoms of great devotees, that they think that, yeah, others have more devotion. That's why Prabhupada says on Radhashmi lecture, one time he said that if you want to offer a flower to Krishna, don't offer it to Krishna directly. Give to Radharani. And because Radharani will say that, oh, here is a devotee of you, because she is in that mood. She sees, oh, he's better than me. Actually, Radharani is the topmost devotee. Radharani will say, oh, this devotee is better than me, Krishna, and he's offering you a flower. Please accept it. And so when Radharani will offer to Krishna, then Krishna cannot deny. Um, so your offering will be accepted like that. So Radharani is very merciful and she is very compassionate. Prabhupada says Srimati Radharani is the tender-hearted feminine counterpart of the Supreme Whole, representing the worldly feminine nature. So she's like the soft heart of Krishna personified. And so devotees pray for the mercy of Radharani. Okay. So we are Gaudiyas, we are worshippers of Radharani. And one Acharya says that, oh, Radharani happens to like Krishna, so we also worship Krishna. But we are actually worshippers of Radharani. Like that. Says like. Okay. The spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So of the whole, of course, it's all infinite. The whole spiritual world is infinite. Material world is also infinite. We cannot measure. Then how can we say the spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation? So of whole creation, 3 parts are the spiritual world and 1 part is the material world. But it is all infinite. Then how can you? So one example can be given that, natural numbers are infinite, right? Natural numbers means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like that. Numbers are infinite. But even the odd numbers are also infinite, right? Because odd numbers are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. They are also infinite. Just like the natural numbers are infinite, the odd numbers are, the even numbers are also infinite. And the prime numbers, they are also infinite. So, but still, amongst all the infinites, we can say the natural numbers have the greatest infinity, and the odd numbers are less in number. So they are also infinite, but they are less. So it's in that way, this whole universe, we cannot measure the length and breadth of this universe. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that there is another world, the spiritual world. Parastasmat tu bhava anyo vyakta vyaktat sanatana yas sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu no vinashyati. Beyond this manifest and unmanifest world, the material world, there is another world which is eternal and it never perishes, and that is the spiritual world. So sometimes we may have doubts, right? Whether does the spiritual world really exist? Who has seen, right? But all the acharyas are talking about, all the religions are talking about the kingdom of God, right? Even if you look at Christianity or any other Islam, or they talk about in different ways, they talk about the kingdom of God. And all the acharyas who are very stalwarts, like Rupa Goswami, Baldev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, they are all talking about the spiritual world. And so we belong there. And there is a place called the spiritual world. Sometimes we may have doubts, right? Whether the spiritual world, Krishna exists, how is all this? We don't know. We are here in this world. So what do we know also? We are like a frog in the well. We don't know about the Pacific Ocean. So we should think like that, that yes, the Shastras are saying. And then we have so many things. We always have a tendency to believe in supernatural things, right? Or fictional things they've created, Spider-Man, Batman, all these things don't exist. But we like to see all this, so many supernatural movies and things like that. So the jiva, the soul, is eternal and wants to be happy forever and live forever happily. So there must be a place where such a place exists. So where did we come from? We came from the spiritual world. We originated not in this world of matter. This is the world of matter. So we came here from the spiritual world, right? Of course, you may say there's some controversy about where we came from, but spirit is of a different category, and we belong to the spiritual world. And that is where we can experience happiness eternally, forever, and be happy. Here in this world, you cannot experience that because everything is temporary. So the permanent jiva who is looking for eternal happiness is placed in a temporary situation. That's why Prabhupada says this is an incompatible situation. This is not our natural situation. So there is a spiritual world, and all the and that spiritual world is manifest in this material world. In When Krishna comes, he brings his spiritual world into this, like this Vrindavan that we see is non-different from that Golok Vrindavan. It's a replica of Golok Vrindavan. When Krishna comes, he brings the spiritual world with him. But then, when we go to Vrindavan, then we see, this is how the spiritual world is. There are so many dirty things going on. There is garbage thrown, and there is all kinds of monkeys are giving trouble. Like so many things are going on, and there may be some cheating going on. And is this the spiritual world I came to Vrindavan? But the thing is that we can only see all these things. There is a nice song. We can only see Vrindavan when we have the qualification to see that. So, what the pure devotees see is not what an ordinary conditioned soul sees. Like even materially speaking, if I have a Nobel laureate, if I'm a Nobel laureate and I have a Nobel Prize in physics, and I go to a villager in India who has never studied physics, and I show him the paper for which I got Nobel Prize, he won't be able to appreciate that because he doesn't have the qualification. So although, yeah, there is so much dirt and things like that there because of the modern day influence, but the pure devotees can still see something that we don't have access to. So when we go with a service attitude, when we go with a service attitude, when we go with a desire to serve Krishna, when we have the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and the devotees like that. And then when our material desires are less, then we can appreciate. There is a song, right? There is a song. Gauranga bolite habe pulaka sharira, Hari Hari bolite Nayane Babenira. Means he's saying, when will I chant Gauranga's name and when will my hair stand on end? And when will my eyes, Nayane, Nira means water. When will my eyes be filled with tears? Araka benitai chander karuna hoibe sansara vasana mora kabe tu chahabe. When will I get the mercy of Lord Nityananda? When will Lord Nityananda be merciful to me? Then when all my sansar vasana, all the material desires, will become very insignificant by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And then Vishaya chariya kabe shuddha hobe mana kabe ha mohera bose Shri Vrindavana. At that time, when my desires, material desires, will become less and my mind will become purified, then I'll be able to see Sri Vrindavan. So that is also there. And of course, I'm not there at that point, but more we become purified, more we are qualified. Then qualification is purity. The more we are pure, the more we can perceive things, which, like Prabhupada said one time, Narad Muni came. Narad Muni came. And nobody could see Narad Muni, but Prabhupada did say that Narad Muni came and he was so ecstatic. He was telling Prabhupada, Prabhupada, you have made all these Western people, Malechas, chant Hare Krishna and dance in ecstasy. So he was laughing. And Prabhupada was also very joyful and like that. So they could see what we can't see. Even materially speaking, if we are qualified, we can see so many things that others can't see. So spiritually also there is qualification. So the spiritual world does exist. Spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is the most exalted region. The spiritual world is naturally superior to the material world. However, Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are considered superior to the spiritual world because the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appeared at Mathura. Because Krishna appeared in Mathura. So it is higher to Vaikuntha. The interior forests of Vrindavan are considered superior to Mathura because of the presence of 12 forests. So there are 7 forests on one side of the Yamuna. I think on the western side there are 7 and there are 5 on the other side. So there are 12 forests like that. Dwadasha Vana, Talavan, Madhuvan, Bahulavan, where Krishna did many, like in Talvan. Who did he kill? Which demon he killed in Talvan?
The horse demon, donkey.
Yeah, the tal fruits. The killed Dhenukasur. Of course, Balramji killed. Balram is Krishna only. So yeah, so like that there are different forests in Madhuvan, Bahulavan, then yeah, Kamyavan, like that, which are famous for various pastimes of the Lord. So if you go on Govardhan Parikrama or not Vraj Mandal Parikrama, you go to all the different places. Thus, the interior Vrindavan forest is considered superior to Mathura. But superior to this forest is the divine Govardhan hill because Krishna lifted Govardhan hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus-like beautiful hand to protect his associates, the denizens of Raj, from the torrential rain sent by the angry Indra, king of the demigods. So that we know the pastime. It is also at Govardhan hill that Krishna tends the cows with his cowherd friends, and there also he had his, how is this word pronounced? Anybody knows? Ren.
I don't know, but I can try. Rendi's wash.
Yeah. Let me see. rendezvous. It's called rendezvous, although it is so where secret meeting happened. So rendezvous means where secret meeting happened with Sri Radha at Govardhan and engaged in loving pastimes with her. So Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, and in the caves of Govardhan hill they would have their pastimes, Radha and Krishna and all the gopis. So when Krishna lifted Govardhan hill, then somebody said, don't look at Radharani, because if you look at Radharani, then you will become ecstatic and you will shake and then the hill will fall on all of us. And Krishna looked at Radharani and Radharani moved her eyebrows and she looked at Krishna and Krishna became ecstatic and the whole hill started shaking. And then everybody was thinking, oh, Krishna is getting tired. So they put their sticks under the hill to steady the hill. That's how you see that Govardhan picture where the Vrajvasis are putting their sticks. But actually, Krishna looked at Radharani and he trembled in ecstasy. So all these pastimes happened under Govardhan hill and engaged in loving pastimes. Radha Kund at the foot of Govardhan is superior to all because it is there that love of Krishna overflows. Advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radha Kund because this place is the site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani. Rati Vilas. Vilas means pastimes and Rati means attraction. So loving affairs of Radha and Krishna at Radha Kund, so many. Like the Ras Leela also happened. We say Vamshivatri, where Krishna called on and I think there's another Ras Leela that happens at Radha Kund. So different pastimes happen of Krishna and Radharani. And there are many books if you want to read. Shivram Maharaj has published many books, Krishna in Vrindavan, like that. So you can read more about Radha Krishna's pastimes. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is stated that when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first visited the area of Rajbhumi, he could not at first find the location of Radha Kund. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to find Radha Kund and he could not. He had entrusted the 6 Goswamis with the task of excavating holy places, finding out where all the pastime places are. But nobody could find where Radha Kund and Shyam Kund were there. And he had also entrusted the Goswamis to write literature. What else did he do? To build temples, because Vajranab, the grandson of Krishna, had made all these deities, Radha Govinda, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha
Gopinath.
Yeah, Radha Gopinath, then Radha Raman, so many deities were there. Of course, Radha Raman manifested, but Radha Govinda and Radha Madan Mohan, they are from Vajranab, the grandson of Krishna, who had Uttara was there, and she was telling that Radha Govinda manifest like this. And Rupa Goswami was not able to find all these deities. Ultimately, there's a whole story of how Rupa Goswami found Radha Govinda. And so like that, Radha Madan Mohan, how Radha Madan Mohan came to Sanatan Goswami. And so they were entrusted with the task of writing literature, establishing temples, and finding out all the holy places, and also to teach everybody about devotional service by their behavior. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually searching for the exact location of Radha Kund. Where is Radha Kund? Where is Radha Kund? Finally found the holy spot, and there was a small pond there. This is also in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is described. We can find that section, we can read. I should have found it before, but it is nice to read about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the verses he speaks in glorification of Radha Kund. Maybe somebody can. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu discovered Radha Kund. So that is in Madhya Lila, 18th chapter. So here it is. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu danced in ecstasy. He is coming to Vrindavan. But when he arrived at Aritgram, his sense perception was awakened. So Aritgram was the place where who was killed? Which demon was killed?
Ishtasur.
Arishtasur. Radhakund is on the day when Arishtasur was killed. You know the story. Arishtasur came into Vrindavan and he charged at Krishna. And Krishna, he was putting his hand, I think, on the shoulder of his friend, and the Aristasur charged at Krishna with his horns pointed at Krishna. His eyes were like, he was so huge bull, and he came, and Krishna took him by the horns and just smashed him against the rock. Like, they say how you beat a cloth against a rock. Aristasur was killed. And then after Aristasur was killed, Radharani accused Krishna that you have killed a bull, so you have become impure. But Krishna said this bull was not really a bull, it was a demon in the form of a bull. So why are you accusing me? He says, no, no, somehow you killed a bull. So then Krishna said, so she said, I cannot associate with you because you are impure. So then Krishna said, so what should I do to become pure? And Radharani said, you have to go and bathe in all the holy places, all over, like Ganga, Yamuna. Yamuna is there, but all Narmada, Kaveri. You have to go all over the holy places, take a bath, and then you become purified, and then we will. So what happened? Krishna doesn't have to go. So Arishtasur had come, and when he was running in Vrindavan, his hooves were creating big, big pits in the soil. So Krishna went in one of the pits that was created by Arishtasur, and he dug his toe into that pit, and he called all the holy places and said, why don't you fill all the holy places came, Narmada, Kaveri, Godavari, all this. They all came and they filled the kund, and that was the appearance day of Shama Kund. The Shama Kund was formed. Then Krishna said, now I've taken bath in the Sham Kund. Now Radharani, now we can associate, I'm pure, I've become purified. And Radharani said, no, now we will. Actually, I think some places it says Krishna accused Radharani. Now you have become impure because you falsely accused me. So Radharani said, okay, we will dig our own pond and we will have all the waters of the holy places come. So they started digging. Check for any underground utilities. So they started digging their own pond and with their bangles, and all the gopis had lined up. They were bringing water from Manasi Ganga, but how much water they have to bring to fill the pond? So Krishna was seeing that all the gopis and Radharani, they were doing so much tapasya to fill up their pond. So Krishna told all the holy places to go to Radharani and glorify her and beg her permission to fill her pond. So they did that, and then all the holy places came into Radha Kund. And that's how Radha Kund was also formed on that day. And then the water from Radha Kund merged with the water from Sham Kund, and like that. So it was the day when Aristasur was killed. So this place was called Arishtagram before, but then it became Aridgram. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understood that this is the place where Radha Kund must have been. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked the local people, where is Radha Kund? No one could inform him, and the Brahmana accompanying him did not know either. So nobody knew where is Radha Kund. The Lord then understood that the holy place called Radha Kund was no longer visible. However, being the omniscient Supreme Personality of Godhead, he discovered Radha Kund and Shyam Kund in two paddy fields. There was only a little water, but he took his bath there. So when the people of the village saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking his bath in those two ponds, so there was a little paddy field, some water, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking bath. And they were thinking, why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking bath in these two ponds? The Lord then offered his prayers to Sri Radha Kund. But they were Radha Kund and Shyam Kund. Of all the gopis, Radharani is the dearmost. Similarly, the lake known as Radhakund is very dear to the Lord because it is very dear to Srimati Radharani. And Yatha Radha Priya Vishnus Tasya Kundam Priyam Tatha Sarva Gopishu Saivaika Vishnur Atyanta Vallabha. Just as Srimati Radharani is most dear to Lord Krishna, so her lake known as Radhakund is also very dear to him. Of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most beloved. In that lake, Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani used to sport daily in the water and have a ras dance on the bank. Indeed, Lord Krishna gives ecstatic love like that of Srimati Radharani to whoever bathes in that lake even once in his life. The attraction of Radhakund is as sweet as that of Srimati Radharani. So if you bathe in it is saying, then we get the same love that Radharani has. Similarly, the glories of Kunda are as great as Srimati Radharani. Sometimes devotees don't take bath in the lake because it is Radharani, just as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't climb on Govardhan Hill because it is Krishna. So you can take some few drops and also put on your head like that from Radhakund. So he took his bath in that small pond and told his devotees that actual Radhakund was situated there. Later, the pond was excavated by Lord Chaitanya's devotees, and Raghunath Das Goswami specifically, he developed it. And we know the story of the Pandavas were also standing there in the form of trees. So that's why the lake is a little bit asymmetrical to not cut those trees, because Raghunath Das in his dream, Yudhishthir Maharaj came in his dream and said, "We are standing here, please don't cut us on the bank of Radhakund." So it is a little bit not exactly in the square form, but in a little asymmetrical form. So presently there is a large lake known as Radhakund there. Srila Rupa Goswami has given much stress to Radhakund because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to find it. Who then would give up Radhakund and try to reside elsewhere? So should we all go to Radhakund and stay at Radhakund? Yes, it can be. But also, Srila Prabhupada was staying in Vrindavan and he left Vrindavan to come to spread the glories of he established Vrindavan everywhere. So no person with transcendental intelligence would do so. Who would give up Radhakund and go somewhere else? The importance of Radhakund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas, nor can persons uninterested in devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radhakund. Thus, Radhakund is mainly worshipped by Gaudiya Vaishnavas, because Radharani is mostly revealed in Gaudiya Vaishnavas. Others, they don't know so much about, except other Nimbarkacharya Sampradaya, they know Kumar Sampradaya, the followers of Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so Radhakund is considered the glorious place. Okay, so it's almost an hour. We can.
I had a question that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a transcendental body or material body? Like, oh yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
out
So,
of the.
yeah. So they have transcendental body because he's the Supreme Lord himself. But then sometimes we may think when Nityananda Prabhu, like he also is a Supreme Lord, then he was struck by a wine pot that Madai threw at him and he started bleeding. Then we may think, how does this happen, right? If he has a transcendental body, his body is not made up of body like us with flesh and bones and blood, then how is he bleeding? Like Krishna also was bleeding when Bhishma was shooting arrows at Arjuna, some of the arrows also struck Krishna and Krishna was bleeding. So, and then if Krishna's body is transcendental, why is he feeling hungry? He should not feel hungry because hunger is a symptom of material body, right? Why is he experiencing hunger? So they behave like a ordinary person so that we can get some, rasa in dealing with them. But otherwise, their body is transcendental. And Krishna's body, he should not feel hungry because those who have transcendental body, then they don't feel hungry. Of course, in spiritual world, Krishna has a transcendental body and he cries for his mother's milk but he wants to taste the love of his devotees. And in this way, he expresses all his emotions like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, you can say, he has a transcendental body. His body is not. And then when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not leave behind a body like Krishna did. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into the temple of who? Which deity?
What was your question, Prabhu?
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went into the, how did he disappear? He went into the deity of Tota Gopinath. And the doors closed, and when the doors opened, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wasn't there. So he and if you go to the Jagannath Puri, you visit Tota Gopinath, there is a little on the knee, there is a little mark. They say that is where Lord Chaitanya merged or left this world in. So they don't leave behind a body like we do, because our body, when we die, our body will be on the funeral pyre, right? It will be burnt. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't leave. Then Krishna left a body behind. Then the acharyas say, well, he left a body behind to bewilder the atheists, because they would think that Krishna has a material form. So he left a illusory form, material form behind. But actually, Krishna doesn't have a material body either, and so do Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also and Nityananda Prabhu also. All this, so we can think like that. Um, and Krishna is also passing stool and urine, right? When he doesn't find the butter in the house, then he would pass stool. Now, passing stool and urine is like all material bodies do that, not spiritual bodies. So, but this is all transcendental Leela. So, one Maharaj was saying that Krishna passes, whatever Krishna does, there is a celebration. So, even Krishna passed stool and urine in the house of the gopis when he didn't find butter. But it is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. We have passed stool and urine so many times in our life, and nobody mentions it. Right? It is not mentioned in any literature. But Krishna does anything, then it is considered like glorious. So it is mentioned in the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam eternally. So like that, we understand. Otherwise, yeah, it is bewildering that how they are becoming hungry and they are experiencing all the same things like a material body experiences. Okay. Anything else?
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, this Tota Gopinath temple is in Puri, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it's in Puri.
Okay.
So that is the deity of Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit used to worship this deity of Tota Gopinath. And when he became very old, the deity was tall, so he could not put garland and he could not dress the deity. So the deity bent down. Or the deity is bent, and so that Gadadhar Pandit could, and that is the same temple where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to come, and he would hear from Gadadhar Pandit the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj again and again, again and again from Gadadhar Pandit. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, he would hear that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that temple is very like special place. If you can go to Puri, you can see that. Yeah. And there are deities pictures also. So you can find it on the internet. Tota Gopinath. Like that. Okay. So anything else I would like to say?
Yeah, I had one another question that how can does love lead to faith or faith leads to love? Because unless we don't love anyone, how the faith comes? So when this verses which you started, it's saying that we are leading from faith to Krishna prema,
Yeah.
but it could be reverse also, right? That when love develops, then the faith comes. Or
Hmm.
I was a little confused about this. Yeah.
Like for us conditioned souls, right? We need to have faith first, right? That's why they say we have, because our heart is not clean, so we have to develop faith, because we have become faithless. We came into the material world, means we didn't have faith in Krishna. Otherwise, we won't be here in this material world. We wanted to be independent of Krishna. That's why we got a material body. This material body is our sign of faithlessness or our denial of Krishna, basically. That's why we are here in this material world. So now we have to develop, the faith is there in the heart, but because of all the contaminations we have in the heart, it has to be removed. All the contamination we developed. Traveling in this material world in so many lifetimes, we are like, if you travel, right, you gather dust over your face and hands, and like, especially in India, if you travel outside, then you come back and you just do like this, you see all, I remember those days, like so much dust would be there on your forehead. So we have gathered dust going through so many lifetimes, and so much contamination is there. Like, so now that has to be cleared out. So that once that is cleared out, then again the faith will manifest. Again the love will manifest. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabunoi Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karay Uday. So when we hear, when we engage in devotional service, that dirt contamination is, then again our love will be there. In the spiritual world in Vrindavan, they don't love Krishna because he's God. They'll just love him because he's so charming, so sweet, and yeah, they don't treat him as God also. So that is intimate love with the Lord. Like, your husband may be a big position in some company, right? But when he comes home, you don't treat him as a big position, right? He's your husband, right? Like that. So Krishna may be like the Supreme Personality of God, but he's my friend. I don't care whether he's Supreme Lord or not. He's my friend first. And I can say anything to him. Tumi kaun bada log? Tumi amisham. You're who? You're a big person. No, no, we are equal. And Yashoda is thinking, yeah, yeah, if I don't feed Krishna, then he will die. So she cooks all the time she's cooking. How many times she cooks for Krishna? Maybe she cooks 50 times or something like that for Krishna every day. Huh?
8 times she cooks.
8 times. Okay. Yeah, she's always cooking. I mean, if you think Krishna is God, why God is feeding everybody? Why do I need to feed God? He's giving everybody. So that is a jnani uh, platform. And then there is a bhakti platform, in an intimate bhakti platform. Like we are offering, so many people have deities, they're offering to their deities every day, like that. Oh, what will Krishna eat? But the moment you think that Krishna is God, why do I need to feed him? So of course we also do because we want to purify our existence. But some devotee was saying, don't use the deity as a food purifier. So like, okay, when you have to eat, then you offer it like that. Of course, in home we can have our schedule, but in temple, you have to offer him like as a person, you treat him as a person. And just as a person needs breakfast, person needs lunch, all these things, which you may be able to do in your home or not, that depends. But like, so you treat him like a person. But the moment you think he's God, then you don't need to. He don't need to feed him, right? So because he is God, he's feeding everybody else. How can we feed somebody who has everything? So that's also, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Prabhuji, to keep in mind because I always struggle. I usually like considering Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead or God.
Hmm.
How can we, like connect with him in normal way or something? Yeah, it helps a lot. Yeah, thank you.
Hmm. But we have to also become purified in heart simultaneously by following the sadhana process that is given by, because otherwise it can become artificially sentimental and things like that also. So that we have to be careful about that. We don't just, become sentimentalist. Uh, and yeah, sentiment is good actually, but it has also to be accompanied by philosophical understanding at our stage. And then when we reach advanced stage of devotion, then yeah, then it's only the sentimental, emotional aspect. Then the philosophy takes a back seat. But Prabhupada, like we also need to understand Krishna's position like that, and what is our position. and like that.
But even the pure devotees are also not forgetting the Krishna's position and Radharani's position. But we have many pastime that Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, when Rupa Goswami wanted to serve his brother Sanatan Goswami, and he don't have like he wanted to offer like sweet rice. And when Radharani comes and she even cooks herself for their devotees. And then Sanatan Goswami chastised Rupa Goswami that we don't take service from the Radharani, right? So I mean, of course, we have a relationship with the Lord, spontaneous, like Brajvasis had, but one cannot forget the position of Lord, because He is the supreme Lord, and our constitutional position is, servant of Krishna. So we serve Krishna. Although, of course, Krishna also serves the devotees. He takes so much pleasure in serving the devotees. So this is a two-way relationship. I mean, of course, it's not just one way. But yeah, is Krishna likes that if someone relish that rasha, like he actually likes it if you serve him in any relationship rather than in awe and reverence.
Yeah. And those rasas like that will come later. First, we follow the Vaidhi sadhana. This is Raganuga. Raganuga means spontaneous attraction for Krishna. First, we have to purify the heart by Vaidhi Bhakti, and then slowly by following the sadhana every day, chanting our rounds. And then when we become more like attracted to Krishna, then the Raganuga side will come, where it is become spontaneous. So, so that is also there. And some of you may be feeling spontaneous love for Krishna because you may have done it in your previous lives and things like that. And so some people are very naturally attracted to Krishna. So that is all. Everybody is at a different point in their journey, but we have to follow also the acharyas. And Prabhupada said, right, you have to rise early in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, serve the Vaishnavas, um, spread Krishna consciousness, sacrifice your life, he said, ultimately. Do as much as you can to reduce our material desires. So all these things is also very important. Because there is a class of people called Sahajiyas, Prakrita Sahajiyas. They cry and they do so many things, but in their heart they are not free from all the material desires. But they pretend that they are very great devotees. So Prabhupada said that they are crying, but those tears, they wash away the conclusion of the scriptures, because they are crying just to, like, in imitation or something. But if you're genuinely crying for Krishna, that's very good. That's the highest stage, to cry for Krishna. But if you're making a show like that to show that I'm very advanced or like that, and you tell, in front of other people, you show that, that's not. So there is an ulterior motive, right? It's not like, so, okay, so that all these things are there. I'm just saying that. So,
Prabhuji, have a question.
yeah.
Like Balram is serving in all rasas, right?
Hmm.
So here we are in the material world, we are also serving like materially to family, friends, sisters, brothers. Like if we are thinking that we are doing service towards to Krishna, right? How different that is. Like
So if I'm serving my child is also part and parcel of Krishna, right? So I maybe think I'm serving Krishna. Yes, indirectly to some degree, because your child is also part and parcel of Krishna. But then uh, everything is ultimately, yeah, manifestation of Krishna. But there is also the degree of, it is not pure, like, because if there is a relationship of bodily relationship. So that's why you don't love, like, or we don't love, we love our family members, but we don't, a pure devotee has love for all the living entities. So he has same, like, yeah, he says Vasudeva Kutumbikam, that this whole world all the jivas are in Krishna's family. So sometimes people who love their children very much, then they're eating meat, right? Then they're um, killing cows and chicken and they're eating meat. So there is not that love is not like very, so it has to be like centered around Krishna also, that knowing that you love your child because your child is part and parcel of Krishna. So there has to be, otherwise you just love and you forget Krishna, that who is this child part and parcel of, and like that, then it can also take you away from your relationship with the Supreme Lord. So that's why we say like uh, two people, and there is also love. Sometimes we say love, but Prabhupada sometimes said that everybody is interested in their own enjoyment. And if their enjoyment is hampered, then the love also breaks. So everybody is looking for their own selfish interest in that. So that is also many things are there in the closest to love, Prabhupada would say, is mother's love for the child. Other relationships, yeah, there can be love, but love also has to stand the test of time. And if in Chaitanya Charitamrita there is a verse like that, if after so many ups and downs, if the relationship doesn't break, and still then you can say there is some love there. But as soon as my interests are hampered or not met, then the relationship breaks, then that is not really love. So like that also in material world, people say they are in love and like that. But if we love Krishna, then we love everybody because Krishna is everybody is Krishna's child and Krishna loves everybody. So if I love Krishna and Krishna loves everybody, then automatically I should love those that Krishna loves, right? So a devotee loves everybody as part and parcel of Krishna on the spiritual platform, as I think who was Vaishali was saying. So
Yeah, well,
Thank you, Prabhu.
yeah,
because
because
I
go ahead.
because I think that the only positive energy which we have of Krishna is soul, and the soul is in the pure state only loves.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, because we are into the modes of material nature, because of the contamination, we don't realize it, and there are so many layers on us. So, but there are moments in our life where we are only soul, and it may differ according to different people.
Hmm. Yeah, like sometimes we are on this modes of nature are going up and down, like always we are affected. Sometimes mode of passion is there, more prominent generally, mode of passion and ignorance. Sometimes we are in mode of goodness. Sometimes we may be on the spiritual platform, but
Yes.
it has to be steady, right? So these modes are going up and down, and we go in sometimes in this state, sometimes in another state.
Eventually, but with all the devotional services, we will stay more on the mode of goodness, right?
So yeah, if that's a verse, right, in the Bhagavad Gita, Mam Chavya Avyavicharena Bhakti Yogena Sevate Sagunan Samati Detan Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. How you can rise about all these modes by constantly engaging in service to Krishna. Uh,
Is it?
and and yeah, because Krishna is above the modes. So if you remain chaste in service of Krishna, then you will rise.
Yes. Which is that verse?
That is in the 14th chapter, 1426.
Okay.
So, Mam Chayo, Vyabhichari. Vyabhichari means not chaste. It's like a prostitute. Our mind is like that, not chaste to Krishna. Mam Chayo Avyabhicharena. Avyabhicharena means completely chaste to Krishna and Krishna's service. Mamcho avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samititetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. So one who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. So that is the spiritual platform, Brahman.
Hmm.
So,
Very
so we have to keep ourselves, yeah. Sometimes we are doing, yeah, Krishna consciousness, but then we are doing so many other things also simultaneously. I mean, not all of you, but I'm just saying in general that so So it will be like that. Initially, it will be like we are doing some service and then we are doing other things which may not be favorable. It may not be anti-devotional, but it may not be devotional also. So many things we are doing like that. So then it becomes steady after some time. Then you are pure devotee. You're a pure devotee. So pure devotee is also not very easy to find, right? Pure devotee is also very rare. But when you get taste in service to Krishna, then it becomes okay. So we'll stop here. It's already 10:49, and we'll continue. This week we missed one class yesterday, so we'll do one. Then we'll go back to the weekend. So we'll keep doing on the weekend. Okay. So thank you everyone for your participation. And
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank
Prabhuji.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.